Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody? Good to see everybody. Giving some time for everybody to get here. Um, hey, Chris Gideon. I've been watching the Parkland shooter. Hey, Wolfie case. It's the penalty phase for Nicholas Cruz. All right, Wolfie. However, the only live stream of the trial I see right now is Law and Crime Network, and they are known for striking anyone that streams their stuff, which is very weird because they have um like 3.4 million subscribers. So you think that they would, you know, not do any of that, but hey, Michelle. But they do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Court TV does a really nice job of recapping it, so I will cover it a bit. Now this again is the penalty phase for Nicholas Cruz. He is the Parkland shooter. He was, and this isn't what my live is about today. He actually is one that said he wanted the parents to decide what was done to him. Obviously, that's not legal. So he's up for the death penalty. This will determine whether or not he gets the death penalty. I don't know. Hey Shay, I don't know how I feel. I don't know how I feel um, about it because of just some of the back. I don't know, but all the families are there, and it is clearly very hard on them. What I've seen of Cruz today is this is his entire demeanor. Hey Danielle, is this the entire day? So I don't know. So this will be the determining, but obviously they're going through the details now. So that's on the Law and Crime. And again, Court TV wraps up the important parts. So I'll look at that later and we'll, cover that as well briefly. The Kristin Smart case, let's talk about that. That's why everybody's here, right? We will go back to side note, this Parkland Nicholas Cruz case is set to he is Michelle K. The background of him is another really tragic one. I mean, it's alleged he was beat uh with a tire iron by his mom, his biological mom. It's just creating monsters. Um, that's awesome, Danielle. I saw that. I haven't had a chance yet to respond. That's so cool. I will say that the mayor. So what's happening now is it's very clear what's happening is Uvalde is PD is blaming Hey Rebellious is blaming basically it's police departments who's at fault, right? Whatever. So the mayor released a a body cam video of the guy who actually was shot at. One of the guy, well, okay, yeah, shot at's a pretty, yeah, that took bullets at him. Like one of the cops that runs back. What you can hear at 11:40 is you can hear the cop that comes out saying, did I get hit? Did I get hit? One of them, you can hear him say, we got to get in there. We got to get in there. There's guys inside of there. There's kids inside of there. We got to get in there. Hey, Shelma, I'm just saying, it's 11:40. So, oh, okay, Danielle. So, I'm not gonna play it because it's a pretty difficult one, and we've got the gist. So here we go. Kristin Smart's trial started today. Unfortunately, it is not one that is, I don't know why it's so dumb, that is publicly broadcast. The judge declined that, or denied it, I should say. But we are going to go over the case, and what just happened there? Hey, Chastity. Oh, well, awesome. It's really good to have you. So, what we are going to do is talk about this case, and then there's one thing that dissects it perfectly. It's about 10 minutes, and we're going to watch that. It was the Vanished. It's just part one of the Vanished episode to give you the background, and that actually took place with Beth Holloway, which is the mom of Natalie Holloway, which they've obviously never found, but they have a pretty good idea of who the killer was. But this first 10 minutes of this will give you kind of an overview of the case in case you're unfamiliar with it. I will say that there's not a lot of doubt in my mind who did it, but we'll see. And so I've spent a lot of time in the last couple days, well, since I found out, not days, couple, like today, gathering kind of the information of what actually puts Paul Flores, who was Natalie's age at the time, at what puts him as being the one that did it, and Ruben, which is his father, they're both in jail, what puts him as being an accessory. Now, let's fast forward to mom, Susan. Susan Flores is Ruben, not Ruben, was Ruben's wife, not anymore, and was Paul's dad. She is very, I don't know, naive or just because she's a mom, but she truly feels like they've set Paul up, yada, yada, yada. But I don't agree with that, but that's my point. So a little background on Elizabeth Smart's kidnapped. Kristin Smart, she went to Cal Poly, and it was a long weekend of Memorial Day weekend. It fell on May 24th, and we're gonna go ahead and watch this part. Don't tune out on it because it's actually super important to watch this portion of it. Whoops. Because there's no better way. This is from the, oh gosh. This is from the parent's perspective, right? So you're getting facts when you hear the parent's perspective. And I will say that what really broke this case open was a podcaster. He does a podcast called, and I'm going to try to get him on the show. He runs a podcast called Your Own Backyard, and it's very, very good. Hey, Vicky. So sorry, Rebellious. You said something. I didn't see it. Let me share my screen here. My husband got me all set up in the other room to stream and stuff, but I just like the window and the lighting so much. I don't know. I just don't want to switch. All right, let's see. Let's set you guys up. Anything that goes on, like goes too long, but each day will obviously get opening statements are about to begin any second in this case, right? So at the end of each day, we'll obviously get lots of detail. But what I wanted to do today was just focus on the background of it so that when, tomorrow comes or that we're going over what happened the day before, we're all not like, well, who's the case and yada, 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 what's going on.
Nearly 2 decades before Lauren Spear vanished from the streets of Bloomington, Indiana, another young co-ed vanished under similar circumstances, though the investigations into these disappearances couldn't have been more different. In the spring of 1995, Stockton, California native Kristin Smart graduates from Lincoln High School. And sets her sights on a life filled with new people and new places.
Kristin was our family's adventure seeker. Anytime there was an adventure to be had, she was on the page and ready to jump in.
She wasn't a follower, she was a leader. She did what she loved, and she was passionate about whatever she did.
That fall, Kristin enrolls at Cal Poly State University in San Luis Obispo.
What were Kristin's hopes and dreams for the future?
Kristin had always been interested in architecture, but in another breath, she might tell you that she wanted to be Joan London and have the opportunity to interview a lot of interesting people and travel the world. No one could tell her that anything was impossible.
Even with a heavy course load and a full social calendar, Kristin never forgets to call home.
She called home every Sunday night. It wasn't in the cell phone era where you could just do that easily, but she wanted to talk to everybody.
The same is true of May 24th, the Friday before Memorial Day. That night, while getting ready to go out, Kristin calls home and leaves a message for her parents.
It was before she went out to the party. And the message was, good news, I'll call you Sunday.
Kristin offers no further details about her good news, which makes her parents even more excited to talk to her. But Sunday evening comes and goes, and Kristin...
All right, let me just do some commentary here. So we've got Friday night, May 24th. Kristin calls unexpectedly to say good news, so something big was about to happen. So this is the long weekend of Memorial Day. Sunday comes around, which is the day she calls her parents all the time, and parents don't receive a phone call, start to become concerned because they know Kristin has some big news to share.
never calls.
On any other Sunday, you would have called, but because it was a long weekend, made the assumption that she would call on Monday.
But by noon on Memorial Day, there's still no word from Kristin. That afternoon, her roommate returns from a weekend trip and notices something strange. All of Kristin's personal belongings are there, but Kristin is nowhere to be found. When her roommate starts asking around, she discovers that no one has seen Kristin since Friday. She decides to contact campus police. Later that day, the phone finally rings at the Smart household. But it's not the call Kristin's parents have been waiting for.
It was a police officer from Cal Poly Police who called to say that they had some concerns about Kristin and had she come home for the weekend. And that's when your mother's instinct kicks in and you say, this is not right.
It appears Kristin Smart has vanished, but despite her mother's concerns, campus police are reluctant to file a missing persons report or start a formal search for Kristin.
The campus police believe that she may have simply taken a holiday and they thought that she was just traveling somewhere.
By Tuesday morning, there's still no word from Kristin. So Kristin's father, Stan, makes the 250-mile drive from the Smart's home in Stockton to the Cal Poly campus. Once there, he persuades campus police to put up missing persons flyers. Officers also begin collecting eyewitness accounts from the night Kristin disappeared. Nearly all of them place Kristin on her way to Fraternity Row.
Kristin suggested that they go to one of the fraternity parties. Well, a couple of the girls had a test they needed to study for, and another girl almost went with her but opted out, and they left Kristin at the fraternity house.
So she's quite familiar with all of these people, right?
She knew people that were going to be there, and she would feel very confident, very comfortable about going there by herself and getting home.
Even though Kristin is underage, she is openly served alcohol at the party.
I don't know many college students that don't have a drink their freshman year in college, and especially at a frat party. You know, most people probably are drinking. Was she a heavy drinker? No.
But according to eyewitness accounts, by 1 a.m., Kristin is so intoxicated that 3 of her fellow students had to help her get back to her dorm.
Kristin was found in this grass area. Apparently, from this point is where they helped her up and started to walk her back to her dorm.
Campus police bring all 3 students in for questioning. They all tell the same story. Shortly after 2 a.m., they dropped Kristin off just a few yards from her dormitory before heading home themselves.
And that's the last that anyone's ever seen Kristin, is walking towards their dorm.
But it appears Kristin never made it back to her room. Why? With no evidence of foul play on the part of the 3 students who walked Kristin home, police posed the theory that an intoxicated Kristin may have simply wandered off. But there are no eyewitness reports to confirm that theory. Days pass without a single clue to Kristin's whereabouts.
1 day goes by, 2 days go by. Before you know it, you have a map up on the wall in the kitchen to where you're marking locations of her last being sighted.
Not that the Smarts are giving up on their crusade to find Kristin.
Your heart is broken, but you can't let your will break because you have to be on your toes and you have to look for resources that can help you find your daughter.
The Smarts' efforts finally start paying off. News of Kristin's disappearance has spread throughout the region, and leads are pouring in.
They would get all these reports that she was seen in a drugstore, she was seen in another city. Wherever people said they saw her, my husband was in the car and he just drove to wherever that was. And it was all over California and Nevada.
Has Kristin simply run away? One sighting places her as far away as Canada. But like many others, it turns out to be a case of mistaken identity.
If you're a tall blonde, it's either, a curse or a cure because everybody's seen you.
The search for Kristin is back to square one. And the Smarts are beginning to believe something terrible has happened.
What is your initial instinct as to what has transpired to your daughter?
Well, something is just not right. She'd been harmed in some way.
In San Luis Obispo, California, Cal Poly student Kristin Smart leaves a fraternity party and vanishes without a single sign of struggle or foul play. At the urging of the Smart family, campus police enlist the help of the local district attorney's office. The DA's investigators start by re-examining transcripts from the initial eyewitness interviews. They quickly discover that one of the 3 fellow partygoers who escorted Kristin home, a 19-year-old food science major named Paul Flores, actually lingered with Kristin a little longer than her friends.
Paul is in custody now.
He promised the individual that was walking with them that he was going to get her home safely.
This new detail creates a gap in the timeline the night Kristin vanished, and means Paul Flores was the last one to see Kristin alive. This raises a huge red flag with investigators, and it's not the only one.
He had a black eye. He had scratches, which is not particularly compelling unless you're contacted by the police with regard to a disappearance.
Investigators grow even more suspicious when they learn many of Paul Flores' fellow students first noticed his injuries the day after Kristin vanished. They
There's only
also
about
tell
3 minutes
investigators
left in
that
this.
multiple times Flores changed his story about how he got the injuries.
If he got them drunk falling into a bush, why didn't he say, gosh, I got drunk last night, I fell into a bush? It's the lying about the physical injuries that makes the physical injuries far more compelling.
Because I didn't think it would matter.
On June 19th, investigators bring Flores in for further questioning and confront him about his injuries.
How do we know that everything that you've told us so far isn't really the truth? How do we know now that you lied? Well, that wasn't important though. Sure it is. That's important.
Flores now tells investigators that he sustained the injuries when he hit his eye on his steering wheel while installing a car stereo.
Dude.
One aspect of Flores' story that doesn't change is the account of his last moments with Kristin.
I walked with her to where the driveway was, and I went up to my dorm because the walkway goes that way towards my dorm, and then she started walking that way.
Investigators have their doubts. They offer Flores a lie detector test, but he refuses. Still, it's not enough for investigators to charge Flores with any crime.
If they go forward without the best possible evidence on a thin or weaker case, and he's acquitted, then he walks for the rest of his life. He can never be retried. You want to have some compelling physical evidence.
But processing a potential kidnapping case isn't something either the DA's investigators or campus police are accustomed to doing.
Hey, Diana. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about this. Hey, Grandma Sherry. So Kristin Smart, we kind of went over that. Disappears May 24th, 2022. 1996, right? So we know that he was the last person to see her. Basically, what the theory is now from law enforcement and everyone else, that it was an attempted assault, attempted assault, and that, well, didn't go well. So there is alleged, based on interviews they've done with other people, that they could see Flores asked Kristin for a kiss and to what? No, he's not. Diana, no, he's not her boyfriend. So he's he's what I think has short man syndrome. So he's 5'10" and Kristin was 6'1". And so she is basically, he offered because two other people were walking her home because she was so drunk. And he said, "You guys go on ahead. I'll finish walking her home to her dorm room." But it is alleged that he asked her for a kiss and she denied him. And then it said that he then tried to hug her and she pushed him back. All right. So we now have the last person. There are people that claim that they saw him laying on top of her on like the side of a hill. So they thought, well, did he give her a date thing drug? And I don't think so, because typically that makes you like completely not, like there at all. So what I think happened was probably an essay gone really terribly bad. Short man syndrome, he couldn't handle being denied. I will say that 4 other girls have come forward accusing him of essay assault. So now let's talk about what they have. So Susan Flores has I'm not sure what you would call it, a rental property. At the point she lived in it, and his dad, she lived there at that point. Or no, excuse me, she rented it out at that point. So they had this, it's like on the side of the hill. I can show you a picture of it. It's like a condo, but it's more like a house. Anyways, there has a beautiful deck by it. Yeah. So they do, Brandy. And I'm going to show you a picture of it. It's just easier. Hold on one second. I feel like I have to have a graphic. So hold on. So the parents actually reported Kristin right after that Sunday that she didn't, or right after her roommate got back and said, "Did Kristin come home?" But they did not begin investigation about Kristin until later on in that week, despite, there's a lot of discrepancy of, are you kidding me right now? Because why was it so long? But we all know that those situations can be a little bit like tricky. So now let's talk about it. Here, I got the house up now. So this is Susan Flores's rental property. So shortly after everybody kind of started to believe that he was the last person to see her. And so what happened was they ended up taking some excavators and digging in 3 different sites that was near Kristin's dorm room. And they haven't said what at all in the last 26 years. Some people have speculated it was clothing or whatnot, but there apparently was things found at each of those 3 sites. Now, this is Susan Flores's house. We're not quite there yet, but so that you know. Okay, so there's right by the dorm room, 3 different things were found in the 3 different sites. They then brought cadaver dogs in. 1 second, please. Sorry, guys. So I'm just waiting for you guys. Sure. What did you guys say? Hold on. You guys are ridiculous. So I am gonna kill you. So they find 3 things. So then they bring in the cadaver dogs and they actually take it to Paul Flores's dorm room. Parkerism, yep. Take it to Paul Flores's dorm room, of which the dogs do pick up on a scent. But still, they cannot arrest him because it's not enough. They don't have anything really to arrest him on. Plus, Paul Flores, as we saw in his pajama pants at prison, that's part of the interview, short guy syndrome. He says that, let's get this done so you can see my face. He says, never changes his story. He makes up this big thing about how last time he sees Kristin. Well, he, oh crap, you guys got me distracted. You know I can't do that. You know you can't get me distracted. So he pleads the fifth. So I was sitting here watching his deposition, and he doesn't say anything. This whole time, he's done nothing but plead the fifth. They ask him to take a polygraph, he declines. So he's not talking. Dad's pretty similar. Dad's not talking. They're saying that based on what their lawyer's advice, they're pleading the fifth. Okay. So 6 months go by. Susan Flores is renting out her property to this couple, right? So 6 months go by, and um, the couple that lived there, the woman finds a turquoise earring in the driveway, right? So they're like, okay, whose would it be? Well, the problem is everybody assumes that it belongs to Elizabeth. Oh my gosh, Kristin, because Elizabeth's smart, you know. Kristin. However, the issue with that is that Kristin's parents can't say for sure that it belonged to Kristin because they didn't see her before she left, nor did anybody that really knew her because she went alone to this fraternity party where she really wasn't that well known, and her roommate was not in town because she had gone home for the long you're good, Diana, the long weekend. So no one can confirm that this in fact is Kristin's earring. It's terrible. But let's go back a little bit. This is kind of crazy. Okay. When the people first moved in there, um, the couple, Rena, when the couple moves in there, every day at 2:20, they kept hearing a beeping sound. It would eventually stop, but every day, for I believe it was, what did it say? Like every day for like um 6 weeks or something crazy like that. It beeped at 4:20 every single day. And no, that was not because it was National Pot Smoking Time. Um, but it was because I want to make sure I have the exact. I want to make sure I have the exact wording. Okay, I can't find it. Okay, it was in the master bedroom that this couple heard at 4:20 a.m. in the morning, and it sounded like a digital watch alarm. But Lassiter, the woman that lived there with her boyfriend or spouse or whatever, couldn't find it. Couldn't find the watch outside anywhere. The backyard was all concrete except for a couple areas where planter boxes had been created by cutting out the concrete and filling it with soil. This woman says that it drove her so crazy that she went out there many times in the middle of the night to try to find it with sticks, sticking down into the planter boxes in the soil. So she told Chris Lambert, the guy with the podcast, that after several months the beeping stopped, and so they figure now that the batteries probably went dead, and that's why the beeping had not continued. Now, when this woman came to Kristin's mom and said, this is, what happened, the beeps, the mom was in shock because here's the deal. The mom said that Kristin set her alarm every day for 4:20 on her watch so that she could make it to the pool and be in the pool by 5 a.m. They have, though, it says law enforcement has searched the backyard of Flores's house many times, but never have found her. I will say, okay, first off, a disclaimer. There was a whole alleged theory that Scott Peterson did it and he was involved. Those are completely unfounded, and has shown no proof whatsoever that that's true. So yeah, if you see that, don't go by that. I want to make sure I have my notes here on my thing right, because okay, so behind lattice work, it was beneath the deck of Ruben Flores, which is Paul's dad, was the large house on a dead-end street off Tally Hole Road, about 12 miles south Poly. In March of 2021, archaeologists worked with police and found a soil disturbance about the size of a casket and the presence of human blood. Okay, so let's look up that house. Oh, duh, it's this one. No, that's not that one. All right, hold on. One second. What? Okay, here we go. Are you kidding me right now? Okay, so just skip the big picture. Forget that part of it. Okay, so what we know is stay clear of them. Hey, Gen 8. So they believe that at some point, so they find this soil disturbance about the size of a casket with the presence of human blood. However, the blood was too degraded to extract a DNA sample. Well, a blood expert did say that it was human blood. The test used did not rule out the possibility it was from a ferret or an ape. Though court records said no remains of such an animal were found there. Okay. I don't live in California. Are there a lot of apes? Like, did I miss it? I mean, I'm not kidding you all. This is like Fox News stuff I got this from. Is there apes in California? I'm not even joking you. It could have been a ferret. They can't rule out the possibility it was from a ferret or an ape. Rebellious. We've got, hey, love my Charlie face, a ferret, right? Which is like what, like this big? Or an ape. That's also a possibility. I are you are they gonna claim that they're gonna claim this in trial? I mean, we're okay. There, yeah, but don't worry, because there's been no remains there found of either that would suggest that it in fact was a ferret or an ape. They both have been charged with the murder, Paul as the murderer, and Ruben has been charged as the accessory, because they believe that now the father, Ruben, is 81 years old. So, yeah, there you go, Rena. So we've got now short man syndrome ape. 4 pounds, 4 pounds. Keep in mind, y'all, LE, law enforcement, found soil disturbances of a casket in the ground with human blood. Could be an ape, could be a ferret. Who buries a ferret with the size of a human casket? I don't know how I missed that originally, but I'm dead right now. Literally, as well as this ape and the ferret, both dead. So what they're saying is that he attempted to essay in May 25th, 1996 in his dorm room. So they're not saying that it took place outside. They're alleging it took place within the dorm room of Cal Poly, where both, I forgot this part, I just remembered it. His roommate was out of town for that long weekend as well. So it said that where it happened there, they were both first year students. His father, now 81, helped. He is accused of helping bury the student behind his home in a nearby community of Arroyo Grande. Hold on. Where they believe he later dug up the remains and moved them. Have you guys seen Paul Flores? And let me just show you a picture, okay? Let me just show you a picture. And there's a reason I want to do this. It's very important. There's a reason I want to show you guys an image of these two people. Okay. So, I have, oh my gosh. All right, let me show you a picture of these two people, and the reason it's kind of ridiculous is I'll show you why. All right, here we go. So here is Paul Flores now with his dad, 81-year-old Ruben Flores, okay? So these two guys, they ain't big dudes, all right? So, dino ferrets. We now have that these two not only buried Kristin once, but dug her up a second time. Dug her up and buried her for a second time. At least that's what alleged. Now, it doesn't say, I mean, it just says that they moved her remains where, though? I don't know. Okay, but all I know is, again, we've got these two little guys that have now buried her once and then did something with her again. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, important note about the earring is they lost it. Law enforcement. They lost the earring. MJ's life, not that I know of, although 4 women have come forward since this all happened and accused him of assaulting them as well. So they did lose the warrant now, or the earring. Now they did have the cadaver dogs come back in and search this last time, sniff around his vehicle, the VW Bug or whatever he had, which he had back then, that he still had, whatever kind of vehicle it was, I can't remember. And they did tow the car after that. So I would believe that that's probably, he again found something. They sniffed up something. I mean, come on. The dog sniffed something out. No, Rena, did I? I should probably get rid of that. I really? Hold on, let me make sure. If I do, I don't know why, and I'll have to fix that. Interesting. Oh, I was messing around with YouTube and I wonder if I accidentally scheduled a stream. I'll have to go in and cancel that. But anyway, so in his dorm room they pick up the scent, and now in the car they pick up the scent. And so where we stand now is I mean, he's 81. He's just like gonna just drop dead in there any second. So now it says Harold Messick, who represents Ruben Flores, previously said the evidence unearthed was ambiguous. He said the soil under the deck had been dumped there after being excavated to lay a foundation nearby. Oh my gosh. The younger Flores downplayed his interactions with Smart when he first spoke with police 3 days after the disappearance, saying she walked to her dorm under her own power, though other witnesses said that she passed out earlier in the night and Flores helped hold her up as they walked her back. We heard about the fact that he said he hit his eye on the steering wheel. Hi, Charlotte. Um, they did move the case to Salinas, so I guess that's why the case was delayed this past year. I mean, I don't understand. So here's what we can expect out of this trial, okay? So let's go over what we can expect. So now we kind of have the gist of what happened to Kristin Smart. Diana, if you're here, you got to go back and listen to the full thing. She got drunk, went to a fraternity party. Again, this was 1996, so I understand like things were a little more trustworthy, but please, students, please do not go to a fraternity party where you barely know anyone while your roommate's out of town. And get really hammered and lay in a yard so that somebody has to take you home randomly. All right, so if I can encourage that to please don't do that. I don't even know where I scheduled a stream. And the sad part is her parents don't even know what the big news was. Because remember, she called that night. She called the 24th of May, saying that she had big news, and that she would call Sunday like she always did, and then they didn't call. She didn't call. I don't know how much solid evidence you possibly need. I'm going to assume that the prosecution has that evidence because if you remember, the reason it's taken so long, they claim, other than the fact that they, well, lost the earring and everything like that, that they probably could have done some DNA on, however, was because they didn't have enough, similar to the Barrymore feud, right? So they didn't have enough evidence to believe that they could get him convicted. So if they got him convicted and then they didn't have enough and he got, whatever, let off, then they can never do it again. So throughout this time, though, there's been the big breaks, and now they feel that they have enough conviction. I mean, just on the facts that the cadaver dogs have hit in so many different spots, I feel the alarm of the watch is downright creepy, but without ever having that watch, I don't think that holds much of a like weight at all. I will say, I'm concerned, and here's why. The big thing that everybody is saying is we have to remember we don't have a body. And Ruben, the 81-year-old dad, dude, can we just be honest now? You're going to die soon. Do you want to die with this on your conscience? Ruben and Paul will not talk. They have not talked for 26 years. They pled the fifth for 26 years. So the big question is, can they have enough evidence that pins this and convicts these two men without an actual body? Not to mention the fact that her parents deserve some form of closure and would like to have her body to be able, whatever's left of it, to be able to bury their daughter properly. In 2002, she was actually, what do you call it, listed or determined to be dead. Short man ape syndrome, we have uncovered that. And again, we do have the casket size hole they found under the deck. However, we also have determined that argument can be made that it could have belonged to an ape or a ferret. Because the blood, they say, was human blood, was too degraded to, you are getting fired, to determine whose it was. Okay. So we've got the short man, Paul, who probably couldn't handle being denied and like allegedly kills her. Or we've got even shorter man, Reuben, who was only what, 81 minus 26, like, okay, he's in his 50s, but still. We also don't know what they found in those 3 spots. However, the things they found in those 3 spots, they've been riding on for a lot of years. So what do y'all think? Do you think what we're going to see in this trial, and we'll see a lot of it after today, right? This is just the intro to what's about to happen. Do you think, yeah, air math, I was like 20, 61, 5, 5, 5. They are in jail, MJ's life. They are in jail. But yeah, because they were arrested for this. Now it's just basically like the trial part of it. Do you think that they're going to have enough evidence to convict these 2 men without a body? I'm curious what you think. And do you think that either of these 2 men, Reuben being 81, will come clean with doing it? Or I mean, what are your thoughts? This is, oh, I'm sorry, Charlotte. The only thing I can think of is that they have a lot of stuff that we don't know about. Let me see what the charges are officially. Because I read it was murder and accessory to murder, but I want to make sure that. Okay, somebody's alarm is going off. I'm not even joking you. Currently on Paul and Reuben. Okay, so Paul's charge is just, it just says Paul is charged with her murder. His father, Reuben, is charged an accessory after the fact, accused of helping hide Kristin's body. What charges? If they only give the jury one option, then it's possible the jury won't convict. Brandy, I know. That's the problem. It's really hard. I mean, at this point has Natalie Holloway's, that guy that everybody thinks, has he ever been charged with her murder? I mean, there's so much evidence against him, but has he ever been there's a fly. Has he ever been officially charged? I haven't really looked at that case. I want to make sure that, yeah, that's their charges, murder and accessory to murder after the fact. See, that's the problem. You've got a Natalie Holloway case. I'm so Sanger. So here's a couple problems. Here's what the defense is trying to do, right? So we have both defendants plead not guilty. Shocker. At 81, wouldn't you want to at least come clean? So Sanger, represents Paul Flores. Okay, so Smart legally dead. That's the correct term. In 2002, she was declared legally dead. Raised several discovery matters. Okay, so here's the discovery matters that the defense is trying to pull. He's continuing to wait for results from testing or retesting of blood evidence and investigations into the witnesses. Okay, so apparently, as of June 2022, the defense is waiting for testing and retesting of blood evidence. So apparently, he is not convinced that it is not an ape blood that was found. Okay, he brought up something too, defense brought up something about something surrounding a particular location at Cal Poly that we are aware of, but we don't have any reports on. Okay, that makes no sense. But obviously they have something that they think there. Hey, Danielle! Solid evidence because some evidence on Marshall's mother yet. True. The district attorney, though, in June said that they were sending it as soon as possible. Well, I don't know. I guess what we have to hope is that they have something that they're sitting on that we don't know of, because I don't know. I mean, who else could it possibly be? It's ridiculous. You can't even say, like, okay, so the problem without a body, though, is just the cadaver dogs. I don't think it's going to provide enough, because they might sense it, but I mean, what is that going to do, right? Without a body, so what? They sensed it. Like, I guess, what if he had a dead ferret? What if he actually killed an ape that night and buried the ape? Like, okay, this is so stupid. I feel like what they're going to do I'm worried that they're going to get it out of technicality. But I just think after 26 years that the prosecutors and law enforcement and FBI and everybody involved went, yeah! I killed a fly and it fell on me. It's okay, I'm okay. I believe after 26 years that they're actually taking the chance right now to take it to trial and everything. They must have some pretty it's back. I am telling you guys, I have super flies in this house. Not even joking you. Not even joking you. I kill them and it like respawns. Yeah, none of them even came downstairs. They're just like upstairs. I'm telling you, these flies, they don't die. Okay. Yeah, none of them were worried. None of them. Exactly, Danielle. Exactly. That's gonna be another case. That's just, I don't know. I know. I can't. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't mean to make this like a joke, but This flies have just drive me nuts. Flying bugs, I can't stand flying bugs. And you know my ADD, and it's just crazy today. I don't have my ADD medicine because sometimes I take like a day off just so my system doesn't get like too used to it. And so today I'm kind of all over the place, and I will tell you, my husband isn't home from work yet, but it drives him crazy. So, um, but yeah, so rebellious, right? But so I don't know that much today, other than the fact that we will know more obviously tonight after the opening statements get done. I'm hoping. So it said that there was allowed photos and stuff. That I'm hoping at least we'll get some pretty detailed reports of the actual opening statement. That's what I'm hoping for. So I know, right? MJ's like, it's crazy. And now I'm on a high alert for this fly. But switching gears, okay? So that's kind of what we know on Elizabeth Smart. Yeah, that's true, rebellious. No body prosecutions. They have been. They have been a lot. I mean, where could she be? I mean, if you listen to the mom, Susan is like completely, she believes Paul was set up. And I don't know if it's just a mother's hope or what, but she completely believes Paul was. I know that happens a lot, Kristin, or that people say Elizabeth, not Kristin, just because Elizabeth was kidnapped, but was found a year later. But did I show you guys yet the video? Oh, I better not. Of Elizabeth Barraza. I'll keep that for another time. But anyways, I better stick to my title. There's that fly. I gotta let it go. I've gotta let it go. I better stick to my title so I don't veer off too much. But I can't remember if I showed you guys the Elizabeth Barraza video yet. We'll do that later. All right, y'all. Well, I'm gonna get off of here and take care of this fly issue I'm having right now. And so she could be anywhere out there. There's so much. I know that's really hard, rebellious. That's the problem. I didn't even think about that. It's a huge desert, so she could be basically anywhere. It is maddening to me. If you're 81 years old, so this part gets me. You're 81 years old. You don't have a lot of years left, give or take, right? I mean, at the very most, say you live to be 100. Okay, you got 19 years left. You're most likely at this point probably going to go to jail for something. Why not just give her family closure and say where they're at? Like you're already hated. You already know what jail's like because you've just spent time there. Maybe he's hoping for 19 more years to make it to 100 or something, so he's hoping for freedom. I don't know. But it's just crazy to me. There's no I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But all right, y'all. Yeah, I gotta go delete that other live stream after I find it. I didn't know I scheduled one. Exactly, Brandy. Why not just like get some sort of a deal? Where did I just read a big case that because people are saying that people are alleging that the laundries, and there is no, I don't have any evidence of this. I'm just saying I've seen this alleged in a couple places that the laundries cut a deal for anonymity. Is that an actual word? I think it is. I don't know. Immunity? What's the word where you I can't remember what's the word where you can't be tried for something. It's alleged that they did that in exchange for his body, where his body was. Is it anonymity? Anonymity. I don't know, something like that. Oh, wow, rebellious. Immunity! Ha! Okay, immunity. Not anonymity. Alright, immunity. I knew it was something with a T in it. Oh man, my life. Alright, y'all, I'll talk to you later. I gotta go make some French toast and take care of the flies. I'll keep you updated on this trial, and thanks for bearing with me. Alright, guys, bye.